Okay, hello everybody, and welcome back to another Valhalla Camp Hill live stream. Tonight we are having a little extra drop, a little extra for you guys of some Fortnite duos. This one specifically featuring Atlee and Brady. But before I really get ahead of myself here, I have a special guest up here. Landon, if you want to introduce yourself a little bit and tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, so my name's Landon. You might have seen me up here before. I was one of the players in Div 2. Casting this game is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to do it.
Perfect. That's what we like to hear. Obviously, like you said, you know, coming from that player background, hoping to hear a little bit more of the expertise side of all of it, everything. So looking forward to having you up here and excited to hear you cast. With that being said, of course, as we mentioned to you guys, the extra drop because of some issues that were going on with the with one of the drops in playoffs. So that is the only reason we have an extra drop. But that just means you guys get more Fortnite, which is always great. I know you guys love watching Fortnite. So Landon, talk to us a little bit about the player experience and really what it's like to compete week in, week out at such a high level.
I mean, it's invigorating to say the least. Like your heart's constantly racing. I mean, I checked my Apple Watch heart rate immediately after one of the games. It was like 200.
Oh wow!
Like, it was
wow.
Yeah. Then it went down immediately after. But I'm like, jeez. And it was just me watching my teammate play. That's what it was, because I was already dead. And it was just constantly giving call-outs, constantly giving information. That's one of the key things here is being able to constantly give information, constantly relay what you're seeing to your teammates. Because if you don't do that, then your team will be uninformed and you won't be able to make good decisions together. That'd be catastrophic.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking a little more specifically about these guys, and I don't know how much you know about this team, but Brady and Natalie, of course, being I believe our only Division I team.
Yeah, they're our only Division I team.
Yep. So
they're our goats.
Them having some pressure on themselves tonight, obviously being the only team competing. Is there anything you're hoping to see really from that player perspective, that is really gonna set them apart or kind of help them settle into the game?
I think seeing a very high level endgame playing will be very fun to watch, because just from Division 1 to Division 2, endgame is, I won't say completely different, but it's different in terms of just how much building there is, just how much map control there is. But seeing Div 2 to Div 1, I'm hoping to see much more map control, being able to control high ground, be able to control your boxes, and seeing those small 2v2 skirmishes you'll see in boxes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think something that we always have to talk about is loot control. Is there anything... new season dropped, 2 weeks ago-ish?
The first week of playoffs,
yeah. So 2-3 weeks ago. Is there any guns, anything that stand out to you as that experience that is really going to help them?
The biggest thing is the void mask. Being able to have that movement ability is just so crucial in those end games. I mean, just watching Zarek use it, just feeling myself use it, being able to finish off kills, being able to easily get out of a situation, being able to easier to 2v2, like you just ping the same target, go, and if he's isolated, they're gone. I mean, me and Zarek pretty much did multiple times where we just void mask the same target, they're done, or you could just easily void mask out and stay alive a very long period of time.
And for everyone watching at home, I'm not totally sure of placements. I don't know if they're up for a banner. Of course, anything is possible. If they get first place and wipe the whole lobby, then they're probably up for a banner. But I'm not too familiar on what their placement is and everything like that. So this might even have more pressure that we're just unaware of because of the lack of information. As we get into the lobby here, and of course, just give you guys a little bit of a rundown for some upcoming stuff. Of course, we'll be talking to Brady and Natalie after the match. Of course, we'll be talking to Coach Kyle as well. And then for the upcoming schedule for the stream. So of course, we still have Valorant on Thursday. We'll still have that match because shout out to Nitro. They have made it to the grand finals. Smite, unfortunately, Ripperino and Pepperoni Smite, but they'll be back for next season. But Nitro going to grand finals, hoping to take home a banner. And Landon, you're going to be joining this. Obviously, we're not sure what team yet, but you're going to be joining the Valorant overall team. Is that something you're looking forward to? Talk to me a little bit about the feelings towards that.
I mean, I always like team games. Like, I'm the person who likes Overwatch, Marvel Rivals, stuff like that. I like those 5v5 team-based environments. And migrating from two-player setting to a 5-player setting would be the hardest for me because, like I said, I'm already in the Overwatch team.
Absolutely.
I think migrating to another 5v5 game just to develop more experience will be definitely an improvement and something I'm excited for, especially since Valorant is such a different kind of game.
Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, when it comes to Coach Ben, he's a great coach. You're going to be in great hands. He's gonna shape you and all that good stuff. So, kind of going back a little bit to what I was trying to say. For tomorrow and Wednesday, obviously we have nothing actually planned. So what I mean by that is we have no one competing in finals, no actual competition going on. So what does that mean for stream? That means we will probably be getting a little bit more creative. We'll probably be getting a little bit more creative with the content we'll be streaming. So for Fortnite, it might be, we might work on mechanical skills. They might be working on mechanical skills, and we might see the map that they're, working on that with. And then obviously for other games, we will continue to build content for you guys. But we are trying our best to keep streams going every single night. Obviously, there's no guarantee, especially without competition, but we are definitely trying our best here. Just getting an update. Looks like we're going to be dropping in 2 minutes. Landon, tell me a little bit about the early game and what we need to see from Brady and Atlee to secure themselves, to push them into a solid mid and late game scenario.
I think the biggest thing they need to just ensure to do is only take fights that know they can win. Don't try to take crazy fights. Only third party if you know there's no other teams that are going to third party, or if you're going to third party, do it quick and get out. Take advantage of those small things like reboot vans going off, someone riding a motorcycle, for instance. I mean, me and Zarek, killing someone on a motorcycle is the easiest thing known to mankind. You just wait for them to drive towards you and kill them.
Yep.
Making sure you have decent loot and that can carry you through until those end game kind of skirmishes. And for just off the first land, making sure that if you're going to land somewhere that's going to be even somewhat contested, that you land on a gun, you coordinate perfectly, you stick together, and you kill the target.
Yup. And you guys, obviously watching you guys multiple times, you guys having that teamwork and that communication. When I say you guys, of course, I mean you and Zarek. Really being kind of, I don't want to say the standard, but being such an, what's the word I'm looking for? An example, that's the word. Being such an example of what that looks like in a good team and a good team setting and everything. So you're definitely familiar with that. And if we ever get to listen into their comms, it'll be really interesting to see what you're thinking about, what they're saying and how they're communicating, all that stuff, which I'm sure we will. That being one of the highlights of the stream. So could be dropping here, and again, just any minute. We're just filing in the last few players. Landon, talk to me. Are you excited? I'm excited. Even though I don't play Fortnite, I'm terrible at it. I do enjoy watching it. I just enjoy watching competitive esports, I think.
Yeah, same. I do, I'm the kind of person that just watches anyone, especially if it's educational. Like if I know it's someone that's a higher division than me, higher level of playing, I just love watching because I feel like I can learn so much. The amount of people, almost anything I watch is supposed to be educational for myself.
Interesting. So I guess with that, if you're seeing anything you're making a mental note of to improve your game, don't be afraid to share that with myself and everyone at home. That's one of the reasons why you're up here is because of that ability to do that. And it looks like we are loading finally dropping here. Yep, so we will get that switched over for you guys. Here we go, looking at the loading screen. A little unfortunate with the I'm
looking at the basic loading screen. You get to look at pancakes.
Yeah, I did get to look at pancakes. So currently I am watching Atlee. So that is what you guys will see. And
after watching them multiple times, have you seen any sort of reoccurring drop spot that they like to go to?
Not really. I know.
Well, we see where they're picking.
Yeah, I know originally Atlee had talked about that corner. Actually, here, when they actually drop, I can show it to you. So the corner off a little bit more from where their ping is. I know they had talked about that drop spot and liking to drop there. I don't know how many times they dropped there and if that did or did not work for them. So it's not surprising though that they're going somewhere in that area.
I think this corner of the map in general is pretty good. That's also where me and Zarek like to take us a little bit up north into the west.
Yeah, you guys drop on like the very edge of the map.
We have dropped the exact same location every single season. It's the exact same where that island's supposed to be.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. No matter how much they change the map, that same location will always be good. Since they're playing some sort of coordination to go to the bridge afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. And a little bit of a, I don't want to say bold. That's probably not the word, but of a bold strategy. I mean, obviously the bridge being such a choke point,
yeah,
definitely
there's
get
not
called
much you can
out.
really do there.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting to see if they do decide to rotate to that bridge, if they go quick.
Not necessarily contested, but there's seems like a solo by himself. They may try to push him after they loot up this location real quick.
Looks like there is a launch pad here, so they can get out very quickly if they need to.
Yeah. Didn't seem like they'll go after the kill, though. First chest Oni mask.
Yep, and katana. Not the void one. Unfortunate, but...
Hey.
An Oni mask is an Oni mask.
Yeah.
Unless, well, you're watching Brady, so you're going to have to... Does Brady... Atlee does not... Atlee found fire Oni mask.
Yeah.
Brady has the void Oni mask already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Brady already has the void Oni mask, and he is locked in.
Atlee has the katana already, so 2 pretty solid movement items for both of these guys very early on.
After being informed that Atlee has full shield, Bray broke the slope truck outside, so they both have 100 shield.
Perfect. Looks like we're currently looting.
And they both have
sewers.
Typhoon Blades if they really want it.
Oh, okay.
So they're probably going to use that for some early game movement before they get some better items.
And we're going to see some map management here.
Yep, this place is a pretty good source of metal overall with those metal tubes, metal railings, plumbing, etc. One of the few places on the map that's pretty good for metal.
Now we expect to see, and obviously you can fill us in, and I'll switch eventually, but we expect to see probably Brady have a little bit more of that mat control than Atlee. Brady being a little bit more of the builder for this team. Definitely something to keep an our eye on as we start to creep into the mid and late game.
Well, Brady's over here picking up Sky Spirit for Totem.
Okay. Well, it looks like they're gonna. What are those things? Are they called perks? I don't.
I just use them. I just call them perks. That's pretty much what they are.
That's well, my default term for something like that is just a perk, but
a passive.
Yeah. I mean, I just think of maybe that's the zombies player, the Call of Duty zombies player. It's just like it's just a perk.
Move fast while your pickaxe is equipped. That's actually one of the better ones you can get. But the thing is, they already have 2 strong movement abilities, so I guess that'll also be good once they drop Typhoon Blades, which they probably will soon for better items.
When we could potentially...
Brady's shaking his screen quite a lot over here. Probably signaling no.
I would assume we can see that perk play in a little bit more, like you said, when they don't have the Typhoon Blades, and we're seeing something more of like Shockwaves or the Void Mask. Maybe something that they're going to want to be a little bit more careful using.
Yeah. It's good just for having an easier time running away if you just want to run. Like you can see if you're watching it, he's just able to sprint from tree to tree without even using the sword. Honestly, it seems like he's moving slower with the sword in his hand than he is with the pickaxe.
Okay. Definitely something to keep note of. It looks like they, at least Atlee, was taking some peeks towards that bridge, so we could expect to see them push this.
Especially if they're seeing that what seemed to be like a solo dropping away from his duo, if he does have one, or a single to spy himself, running this general direction. They have so much movement that honestly this seems like an overall pretty decent play. They know they can win. Again, they're taking fights they know they can win.
It looks like Atlee does see someone. No shots fired quite yet.
Yep. They both see them. They are pushing up.
Atlee finally shooting. Hitting for 50.
Brady is pushing up.
Yep, Atlee right behind him.
Brady down to 150. They don't have any sort of big pots between the two, so they're pretty much stuck at 150 HP.
So yeah, Atlee getting beamed there quite a bit, going down to 150 as well. Actually going down to 120, and then Minnie's back up.
Brady dropping his purple assault rifle for a gray one just to have that scope for better.
Now, I think the real question is this the single that we were seeing? Because it kind of looks like it is.
Yeah, it does seem like it is. They may end up pushing further up here if they realize... Oh, he does it. I think that is a duo. Yep, there is a duo.
Yep. see them playing very patient here.
Seem to have the Fire Oni mask.
And we see some white damage come through for Atlee, so we could see them start to get a little bit more aggressive. They do have the rails next to them from the bridge.
The only thing is, Brady over here has only 5 assault rifle bullets, so if they do want to push this, they'll probably have to drop more assault rifle or push in very close, which I do think might be the plan. The plan is either run away or get closer.
Yep, very good observation there. Atlee only having 23 himself, so...
Yeah, I've seen that Brady and Atlee are retreating from this fight. There's not much of a point to take it from there here on out. Though they may try to loot up on the bridge and recontest, but I do believe this is going to be there. Just trying to run away without dying.
And we see them take the launcher here. Yep, and you were right. Correctly predicted, they're just going to get out.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit. Is that solely because of that lack of ammo, or do you think there's something else going on, either in comms or in their minds that just says, like, this isn't the fight for us to take?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is the fact that neither of them have any sort of big pots, so they have no way to regain up to that 100 shield, and the fact they have almost no long-range ammo. Everything is going to be a closer range fight with what they currently have, and what they currently have isn't even really that good. The best weapon they have, I think, between the team is on Atlee.
Yep, yeah, which he has the that purple. I don't totally know what it's called, but it's the automatic shotgun.
They seem to be farming up some mats, maybe just trying to stay alive for later in the game.
Yep, trying to get back the mats that they did use. We see one big there come out for Atlee, so.
Probably seems they're going to contest Seaport City after looting up this.
We see Atlee drop that purple full auto for a green sentinel. Can you talk to me a little bit about the thought process behind that?
The auto, for their playstyle, a lot of, like I said, like the later game skirmishes are going to be a lot of pretty much box fights. And box fights are almost always going to be played with a slower shotgun like a semi, or you prefer a pump like an Oni.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's going to be played with those semis and pumps. And the auto shotgun overall this season is not that good.
Okay.
It has a very long reload time, and it doesn't have the best damage. So it's not like the drum that can shred people. It doesn't really do anything. And overall, in my opinion, the shotguns this season seem fairly lackluster overall.
Okay.
The only shotgun's really only good if you're able to hit 2 strong body shots in a row. And so overall, it would probably seem that they're going to go for a shotgun with some sort of automatic weapon is probably going to want what they want later on. And we got a huge upgrade here on Brady, who got a purple Oni.
Oh, that is a big upgrade. Switching to Brady.
And they're both
here.
getting large quantities of ammo. It seems that Seaport is completely empty, so they're allowed to loot here as long as they really want. Though I am worried with how far they may be splitting up, that if someone were to contest them, how they would react to it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very valid observation. I think for that, it depends. I think if Brady gets pushed, he's kind of okay, because he can get out and regroup with Atlee, because he has that Void Oni mask. But I think exactly. If Atlee gets pushed, all he's got is that sword to get out. Start to be a little scarier.
There are footsteps here.
Yes.
Does seem that they are calming to each other, because Atlee's coming up towards Brady.
Yep, and we see Atlee also now having that Void Oni mask, so definitely being in the position that both of them probably want to be with that item instead of having to rely on the sword.
We have eyes on a duo.
Yep.
They're taking the shots, but doesn't seem to hit anything.
So we didn't see Brady hit any. Looks like Atlee was...
Very hard to hit shots with the assault rifle with that kind of distance. Even with it being changed to hit scan, still can be difficult.
So really just trying to get as many mats here as we can. We see Atlee just destroy these metal signs.
Honestly, I'm sort of surprised. I've seen Brady now not take the chance to have now would be 2 big pots instead of his halfway durability sword. And considering the fact that's one of their main weaknesses right now, that if they do get into a fight and they get chipped down, their maximum HP combined would be 150.
Yep.
I wonder if he has further plans with that sword. I mean, the sword is very good for negating fall damage, but I mean, even here we can see now the disconnect between the two because Bray missed with his double jump with the sword, leading to the two having to come back together and not be able to get the instant contest I think they wanted.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we do see Atlee having 3 big, so...
oh, yeah. They nicely switched that out.
But still, I mean, I think... I mean, obviously, I know the drink time is a little quicker for minis, but even with... I mean, wouldn't you prefer that now Atlee finding the 3 bigs compared to the minis?
Yeah. I think especially because they both have... Bray over here has minis, and you have meg hits and... big pots on Atlee over here. I think it's a good combination. There does seem to be gunfire. They're both heading towards it, instantly contesting it. They're on the bridge, so they do have high ground over them, and they do seem to be pushing in. I think they're going to be retreating and trying to use these buildings to their advantage to
for sure.
Get out.
We're going to see some high ground come here. Brady misses his teleport.
Yeah. I don't think he completely calmed that, because it seems that Atlee is still on the low ground trying his best to get back up. I feel like that's the biggest skill gap that comes with these Oni masks, is being able to completely communicate those teleports, pinging and doing countdowns and knowing exactly where each person's going. Though, we can't hear their comms, so I don't know if that was their plan to have 2 different locations, but...
Well, and I think one of the hardest things about these, at least in my experience, is that they're kind of hard to aim. I mean, obviously you see the line and everything, but yeah, it's a strange arc, and sometimes it looks like you're aiming where you want to, and you completely miss it. So
yeah, especially when it gets further out, it doesn't show you that arc anymore once you get to max distance. There is a void Oni mass seem to be coming their way. It seemed that Seaport had become from completely uncontested to very contested.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
luckily, Atlee and Bray were here early, so they're able to hold down this ground and hold down this very contested POI.
And we know of the one team that was very close to them, potentially another, looks like 1, if not maybe 2, now crashing onto Seaport as well, so they definitely need to be careful.
Yeah. Especially since it seemed that their best weapons are closer range weapons, especially on Brady's side. They are pushing up to the largest tower, to having the highest ground in the area, spraying down on a team below them. Focusing on trying to break those walls together in order to target the same player.
You see some shots getting fired from pretty far out. Actually managed to hit
pretty
Atlee
far,
there.
And it seems from behind too.
You hear Coach
I wonder
Kyle.
if they're going to continue trying to hold this ground or eventually just give up and try to void Oni mask out to a safer location.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was just thinking. And we hear Coach Kyle. Well, you guys can't hear it quite yet, but hearing him in person, obviously giving them some advice. So would not surprise me if we see just an Oni mask completely out to regroup here. I think this is a good time. We're going to take a quick second. We're going to listen into their comms, see what they're going to say.
Maybe the move now is just to sit tight, but hang gliding. Someone's hang gliding.
That was a bird.
Was it? Oh, okay.
Right
It looked like Peter. Looked like Peter Griffin.
Do you want me to? I'm gonna go. Can I go to this big here?
Where?
Over here.
On blue mark.
Yeah.
Grab it. I'm just gonna. Let me know if you hear anybody. I'm gonna kind of scope out this building here. I
It's
don't
over
know.
there.
I don't know if we looted this yet, but.
It's southwest again by those builds.
Okay. I'm
Moving
just
south.
looking in this building for anything, any extra.
Oh,
Oh, hold on. I see. I see.
I'm
there.
There's a kid right below me. Is this
Okay,
you?
hold on.
Yeah.
I'm here.
A little scary. Not gonna lie to you, dude. All right. What's up, Ben?
Kid's far.
Okay, so hearing there a little bit, and obviously you still listening in, is there anything concerning, alarming, anything that you're hearing in their comms that they need to clean up or anything like that?
Not really. I think they're just in a very high stress situation right now where they're being pretty much attacked from all sides. So it's kind of hard for them to have those extremely clear comms because they know they're being attacked from multiple sides. They know they have to deal with so many different things right now. But I mean, they're doing the best they can right now, and they're holding out pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just taking their time here. Something big that you mentioned is we are, at least I would think we are officially in the mid game is, being patient and not taking the fights that they don't think they can win, and it seems like they're doing that at least to the best of their ability here. As they are just surrounded, it looks like.
Yeah. Ooh, they got a good beam on the team right below them here that they're both fighting. They're going in.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to see a push here.
We're going to see a big fight. This could be make or break them. Here's the problem with the Oni shotgun you're seeing here. We already got Brady firing one shot, and he only has one shot left to really make this shotgun count before having to reload.
And losing some sight of them, never a great way to start.
Here we see other Reeks and the Void Oni Mass are so good in these kind of crowded TOIs. It's so hard to... Brady trying to make use of the sword, but realizing just how useless this weapon is.
We saw the mask come out, the TP come out from Atlee, but looks like he did end up losing the guy he was chasing, so...
Brady's further pushing.
Someone actually TP'd behind them. Atlee's going to chase him down.
That was the person Brady was chasing. They seemed to TP behind them. A lot of Void Oni Mass charges being used between the two teams here. A lot less on our side, which is very beneficial.
Yep, and they are late.
Oh, we got a nice elimination, and it was a solo, so we don't even have to finish him off.
That's very
Hopefully
good
some
from
new
them.
loot. Hopefully some more ammo.
I would say a lot of waste of the Void Oni Mass charges there. Atlee only having 7 left, so definitely could impact him, especially in that later game. "13 people left though, so." So of course, as these games start to wind down, what from your matches are you doing? You telling Zarek to do to prepare you guys for the so-called quote unquote late game, end game?
I mean, honestly, this sort of battle strategy is fairly different to ours and Zarek's, where we took a lot more aggressive approach. But that's something we can do a lot more in our Div 2 games, where we have so many more people. I mean, before this game I saw, there was like pretty much, I think it was like 30 people in this lobby versus, 70, where you have a lot more combat and a lot less of these, kind of smaller skirmishes where teams are just tagging each other. Ooh, we see some huge damage on Atlee here.
Yep, absolutely. Him going into 20.
And they are pushing. They are full pushing. I wonder how this will play out for them. They're most likely going to try to avoid Oni Mask out if they can. It does seem like Atlee may be going down. Brady's actually probably the first to go down here.
Brady did go down.
And 7th.
Atlee being finished.
That was just unlucky. The instant beam on Atlee just made them so much more confident to push, and there's nothing much they could really do there.
Yep, and it looks like, too, potential third party from there where they just were as well. So even if they would have won that fight, they would have had a lot of pressure on them to try to get out.
Because they would have seen that previous engagement and know they can just fight them. And that's honestly just how it goes. If someone sees that someone's low or someone's fighting, then like 3 teams just push in, spray, do whatever, and it's almost impossible for you to get out of.
Yeah, absolutely.
That really comes down to the Void mask usage, because I think if they were able to perfectly plan and get out together without trying to take that engagement, they could have probably gone down alive, maybe gone another placement point or 2. But that's a heat of the moment situation you can't really even think of. You think, hey, maybe we can fight this, just to see that they're literally barreling towards you and there's no time left.
Well, yeah, and we saw a little bit of the, I don't want to say disconnect, but that separation, right?
Yeah.
Where, especially right after Atlee got beamed super on, and then Brady kind of, I don't want to say chasing, but trying to create some distance, and again we see that separation. Obviously not a spot they want to be in. Can you tell us a little bit more about how that separation kind of caused that downfall?
I think that separation was kind of seen throughout that entire game, actually. I mean, even their looting patterns were fairly separate. And overall, I think, honestly, going to next game, the biggest thing they're going to have to work on is their ability to not coordinate, because I think they're fairly well coordinated. It was just playing together, playing as a unit, not 2 separate entities that are doing very well together.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's very fair. And again, I think that's just the main reason we saw. And again, maybe a little bit of lack of communication, but like you said, in the heat of the moment, it's hard to say for sure. As we should be preparing here for some post-game interviews, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that was it. I don't have anything scheduled. So obviously we'll get some news updates and try to fill some time. Of course, we will have some post-game interviews that we will try to get up. So just give us 1 second here. Okay, and being the harsh judge, is there anything at any point in their drop that you saw that you would have done differently, or you think they needed to change or clean up?
I feel like I think the biggest thing was just that not playing together very well, and also just I think that was the biggest thing. Like, they didn't really have many good close range weapons other than their shotgun. They usually had AR, shotgun, the sword, Oni mask, and then heals, or instead of the sword, you have another heal.
Yep.
I think especially when we get into that later game, maybe trying to drop especially that sword for something else, because realistically you're not going to be able to run through those fields openly. So dropping that sword for something like an SMG to help with that close range engagement where it's hard to hit with the Oni shotgun. This one's because sometimes someone right in front of you is the hardest person to hit. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being up here. I know fortunately it was kind of short, but thank you for joining me. It was a pleasure, and of course you're welcome to come back up at any time. We love having you up here. So
I hand it over to Atlee now?
Yep, absolutely. Thank you so much. Atlee's over here breaking my setup. Atlee.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? What do you mean you can't hear me? Oh. I don't... this is like your bad luck, Sean.
I know.
Like it only does this when it's with you.
Every time.
And I don't know why. All right, you should be good now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Atlee, talk to me a little bit about how you're feeling after that extra drop.
Well, we were doing pretty good there. We decided to push that team, which could have been good, but we got third party by the team on the hill in Storm, so we were trying to rotate in to push that team, and we got third partied and taken out. But I feel like we did pretty good.
We heard some communication. You know, we saw a lot of things. A lot of, I don't want to say true separation because you guys were close for a good bit too, but some separation coming through there. Is there anything you guys are doing in those moments of separation to make sure that even though you guys are apart, you guys are still covered and are able to get back together?
Well, we're just, we have the Oni masks so we can, like, teleport to each other, but we're just making sure we're calling out anything. If we hear footsteps, if we hear gliders, we'll just let each other know and we'll move to each other, like, right away.
And we saw maybe the RNG gods weren't the greatest to you guys tonight. Loadouts, at least in my perspective, maybe not being where you guys would want them. Obviously, I don't know from your perspective. If loadouts were not what you guys are hoping for, how does that kind of change your guys' game plan?
I feel like if we have a good loadout, we could play a little more aggressive, but the loadouts we have, we did our best with what we had, but I feel like we definitely could have gotten, like, better guns there, but we just weren't having good luck with the chests and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And finally here, I believe, maybe this is a spoiler for anybody at home, but I believe this is it for you from Fortnite, right? Am I correct or am I wrong on that? Are you stepping away from Fortnite?
No.
Oh, I was misinformed. Never mind then. So now I guess we'll transition into the other question of, so what are you and Brady hoping to continue to work on here in the off season to come back, not only in the winter but also in the spring, bigger and better than ever?
I think we need to work on our fighting a little bit, be more aggressive, and just keep it up.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Atlee. And we look forward to watching you guys in other seasons, and hopefully we can get some better results.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brady, here he comes. Brady, what's going on? How are we feeling after that extra drop?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay. So is there anything specifically you guys are doing anything specifically that, you feel like you guys could have tweaked it a little differently or done better to maybe maximize your result instead of getting the 7th?
Maybe stay a little closer together and push like with each other, because with the Void Oni mask, you have to either send it in the same spot or set it in between each other, and it's just hard to like do that really quick while you're pushing.
Yup.
So if we stayed together, I think we would have won that fight there. But we did the best we could do with how we pushed.
Yeah, and we saw some separation come through you guys, and I want to talk about specifically at that last fight, right? You guys having the Oni masks, kind of knowing you're getting third partied. Is there anything you're doing as the IGL to discuss, like, do we get out, do we teleport out, like what's going on in your mind in that oh my gosh, encounter?
Well, Atlee got beamed like immediately, so he went back down and I started trying to shoot them while they were pushing, but then the third party came in and shot us. So if we would have just known that the third party started shooting us, boxed up and dipped, I think we could have gotten out of that much easier.
And you guys not splitting up, you guys being one of the teams that are staying the same, I believe. Is there anything you guys are really going to try and hunker down and improve on as we continue to get to not only the small winter season, but of course the big spring season?
I think we'll try and work together a lot better and easier, because between me and him, we don't work together in fights as much as we should, because if we work together, we will do a lot better. Pushing together, that's going to be a big thing for next season. Just doing everything together, looting together, doing anything.
Yeah, and finally here, I want to ask you, this might be a hard question, I apologize, but how do you feel like Coach Kyle and Coach Jonathan have prepared you for these kinds of moments?
The 1v1s are a little odd because it's a duos game, so you're not normally going up against as a solo.
Yep.
But the other things, like just aim practice, I like doing. And whenever they coach us through those, it's really good because they notice things that we don't sometimes, and they help a lot.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Brady, for your time. I'll let you guys kind of lock back in and hopefully have some fun for the rest of practice. So Thank you so much. All right. Let's see if we can get him up here. I don't know his availability, but see if we can get Coach Kyle he's creeping his way up here. I'm all giddy already. Here he comes. Oh, literally hitting the gritty on his way up here. Coach
Have
Kyle.
to hit the gritty on the way up here. What's up, Coach Christian? How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Coach Kyle?
Honestly, man, I'm doing awesome. Like I said to the team, best Fortnite season just in general. Nobody was below the top 20 in any of the respective divisions. Across the board, it was a really solid team, a really solid drop of just, pretty much every single time. So season's over. Obviously, we didn't get to take home a beautiful banner. We were close in a couple divisions, but what am I going to be upset that my team played hard? Upset that they tried their hardest? Upset they were working their tail ends off through the whole season? Come on now. So, I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we listened in, we saw. Talk to me a little bit about how the growth that you've seen in this duo of Brady and Atlee.
Well, and so it's interesting. I'm going to tie the growth to what I want to work on with these two next season.
Oh, man. Taking away one of my other questions.
Yeah, well, but there's a reason why, right? So, you'll have noticed in the game, they split to loot, which usually I would say no to. But again, we'd already scouted the location out. It was a necessity. We're running really low on mats materials. That's growth. I wouldn't have taken that risk with them any other time or any other way. My issue now is, all right, now what I need to do is I need to push these two as athletes to take the opportunities when they present themselves. I'm going to talk about we had a perfect opportunity. There's two people in that box. They didn't know that we were there. We had the chance. We had the spot. All we needed to do was press quick, get the kill quick, and then reset. We didn't get the kill quick. We didn't reset. We allowed ourselves to take our time, and then overall, that let another team third party us. Then we got pushed in two different directions, and then we died, right? That shouldn't have happened. Because I told them, I was like, guys, take it. Take this fight. There is no doubt in my mind that those two could have handled that fight. There's no doubt in my mind that those two could have fragged out and gotten them. now, as a coach, the growth isn't what macro strategy do you need. The growth isn't how can I help you come to an understanding of like the fundamentals where you can place in the top 10 pretty consistently. Now I'm like, all right, I need to start talking to you guys about how to frag out and actually play aggressively and take those opportunities when they present themselves, because if I don't, this is what's going to keep happening.
Okay.
Right? So like now we've grown to the point where I can say, it's so funny. This was something that used to come up a ton when I was playing professional Magic. But the bell curve between a really inexperienced player and how aggressive they are, and it's like is up here, and then as you get dip down and you're that experienced, like when you're kind of experienced but not really, you're so much less aggressive, and then the U just comes all the way up when you're really experienced. So we've reached the bottom of this U, and now I'm like, cool. Now we've ingrained the good habits, the healthy habits, the things that make a good, consistent, strong player, and now we can start playing aggressively again. So now I can teach you how to capitalize on a moment. Now I can teach you how to start using momentum. Now I can teach you to start fighting together as one and fighting aggressively as one. So again, there's the growth had to get there for us to go to the next lesson. So
and talking to both of them, that being their main concern was just that they're not feeling that they're together enough or taking those moments to fight as one, even though they are two.
Well, and here's the thing is like I think part of it now is there's a mental block of I don't know if some of our team members realize just how good they are at all. I think some of them have been like, all right, cool, I've been fighting and I've been playing and we consistently get in like, 8th place or 6th place or 10th place, whatever. And that's the points that we need to get us into the top 10 in playoffs. But I think some of them are not realizing just how good mechanically they've become over the course of a season. So now I just get to be like, all right, cool, who let the dogs out? Me. I did. Like it's time for us to start attacking.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you kind of answered, but is there anything finally that kind of out of the game you're going to continue to prep these guys?
It's just mental. For those two, it's just mental. It's the idea of we are good enough to be here. We are good enough to do this. And not just that we're good enough to be here. We're good enough to win. We deserve a top spot.
Absolutely.
And they do. Like I and I would purposely tell them, I'm like I forget who was saying, like, no, coach, I should have won that. I'm like, no, you shouldn't have. What are you talking about? You shouldn't have won that at all. You took a fight when you were on low ground. They were on high ground. You weren't ready. You didn't take it together. There's no reason you should have won that fight. What are you talking about? Better ping. Get your excuses out of here. We're not doing that here. But like these two, like they are good enough to do it. They deserve it. They have the mechanical knowledge. They have the technical skill. They have it. So now it's just a matter of getting them to the point where it's like, oh, like you look yourself in the mirror one day and you're like, oh, I'm really him. And that takes time. Like I know adults that struggle with that lesson. So yeah.
Well, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time up here. Obviously, we're excited, and I know I'm looking forward to continue
one of the season.
to see these guys grow. And no, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Hey, Coach Christian, thank you again, man.
Much.
Wonderful again. Goodbye, everybody.
All right, and with that being said, Coach Kyle kind of closing me out there, but that is going to be the end for us tonight, everybody. So I know it was a little shorter, and again, it was just because of the single drop. Don't be afraid. As I said before with Landon up here, content, even though content is up in the air, we are going to try our best to schedule you guys content, whether that be whatever, competition or non-competition. I believe we have a couple week break until competition starts back at the beginning of January. And until then, I hope all of you guys have enjoyed stream so far. Again, you guys will still have to deal with my ugly mug up here most nights. But hope you guys have enjoyed streams, enjoyed competition, enjoyed the commentary. Honestly, one of my favorite parts is coming up here and getting to watch the games and talk to you guys. So with that being said, for the fall 2024 season, this is Coach Christian and every other coach and every student in Valhalla right now signing off. So thank you guys so much and goodbye.